another one. I'm talking sauce with Marcus here.
Yes.
So tell me, Marcus, what have you been making this week?
So
Anything good?
this week, I swear to God, I'm going to change my name to Bolognese Boy. That's all. It's like that's the only thing
You've been making that a lot lately?
I feel like I have. I mean, I do something every Sunday. Like I try to do like either a plain sauce or a bolognese, but like I've been doing it for so long, and it's like I change. I always change little things here and there, but now it's like I just feel like I should call myself the Bolognese Boy. I swear to God, it's just getting to that point. It's just I make it so often. It's like eyes closed. I already know what I need, whatever it is. But this time I kind of changed things up a little bit. I julienned a lot of the vegetables,
Okay.
and I'm talking about thin strips, and then I chopped them down to like really small pieces. I wanted to have it melt in.
Yeah, because when I saw your video posted, I really didn't even see it. So I was like, is it a real bolognese or is it just like a quick chopped meat
So
sauce?
I noticed that like the original bolognese, it's super thick. Bolognese is super thick.
Hmm.
I use a lot of, I could do 2 cans of puree, 2 cans of regular sauce, and I make it into a sauce. It's a bolognese sauce. Bolognese is, regular when you go get it anywhere else. It's thick.
It is a
Super
thick sauce, yeah.
But I make mine a little looser. I like to save it, because I do it like what? One big pot will last me a month.
Okay.
Freeze them, take them out on a Sunday, Saturday, whatever, and that's what I do. But
Yeah.
I wanted to definitely. I changed it up. I used to do like onion slices. I used to do just chunks of carrot and celery. I wanted to. I minced the garlic. I made the carrots tiny, tiny. I did the same thing with the celery. I chopped those onions down to like nothing.
But now let me ask you something.
Sure.
Do you want not to see them? Because like, isn't that the point of having a bolognese where you see all the different components come together and
I
not that they all disappear?
For me, I like the fact that I can taste it and not see it. It kind of
Okay.
makes it, I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm a little bit more sneaky, even though I know what's
Like
in
it's
it.
all in
Like
there.
it's all in there. It's like that real minced capogliato that you're just
Yes,
sitting there. You're
yes.
like, I could taste it, but I'm not chewing on it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that. I've always liked those having those flavors there without actually sitting there chewing on a half a stick of carrot.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Oh,
So how about you? What'd you make this week?
me, I mean, I feel like I'm cooking all week long and I make all different things.
Yeah.
But honestly, I've made chicken marsala. I made that this week.
Cool.
I've done broccoli rabe and sausage this week. Actually, with the broccoli rabe,
Mm,
I bought a lot of it.
okay.
And it was a great price. So I got a lot of it. And honestly, I kind of prepped it all, cut it, cleaned it, boiled it. And then I prepared it for that night, but the extra, I kind of froze it.
Okay.
So like I put it in Ziploc bags, I freeze it. So on another time when you want to make something, you don't know what to make. Oh, wait, I have this. Let me just get sausage, boom, put it together and you're done. It's like,
Okay.
mom, time saving
No,
tip.
listen, it is what it is, but you boil it?
I boil my broccoli. Well, that's what I was taught. That's what I
Right,
learned.
no, obviously, yeah. But so have you
But you
ever
do it different.
So the thing that I do is because it's a vegetable. It's a part of the
Yes.
turnip family, for those who don't know. Just saying. It already retains a lot of water, like most vegetables. For me, when you add the water, like when you have broccoli rabe,
Zappine.
it it's supposed to be a bitter.
Bitter. I was going to say, you like it bitter?
Well, that's the thing. I do, but I don't. Because I've had the bitter when I've had it with sausage and everything like that. I feel like it kind of distorts the flavor of the sausage when I mix
The bitter
them.
when it's too much.
And sometimes it's too much. It depends on which one, like what you're really getting there. But also it's also other flavors as well. I also put in cherry tomatoes. I cut up cherry tomato,
Never had it that way.
garlic. Yeah, and I use like a half a bouillon cube.
Okay.
Throw it in there and just kind of like I know it's like a chicken flavor. I get it, but
It's probably like a light undertone
there
flavor.
is an undertone
like,
to it,
what is that in
and
the
it
background?
puts the bitter more in check than
Okay.
because then when you boil it, you're actually taking a lot of that out,
You are.
right? So it's like I don't want to say I'm blanching because I'm not blanching it. I'm making sure it cooks. I do put so it doesn't burn the bottom of the freaking pot. But I do put
A
a
little
little bit of,
water.
you have to. Can't just do straight
Yeah, yeah,
olive oil,
yeah.
garlic, whatever. You have to put a little bit of water.
Yes.
But you would get a pot and
And submerge it. Like you said,
submerge.
blanch it
Okay.
for
So
like a few minutes.
yeah.
And then take it
And then
out.
you put it on the side, let it dry
Yeah,
out.
let
and
it
then
drain, let it dry,
got
and then
it. And
saute
then you
it with olive
saute.
oil and sliced garlic.
Gotcha.
I'm very traditional. I make
That's
it
fine.
the way. So, but I would love to try your way
No,
one day
definitely. Listen, I've
to
seen people.
see if that bitterness does leave or if it's like all retained.
Well, so the way that I do it, you're gonna have a little bit, but then if you, like I said, like if you do the half bouillon cube, the garlic,
Tomatoes.
the cherry tomato, and you kind of like let it do.
Different.
I've seen some people actually put those the thin red chilies.
Yes.
I've seen them actually like chop them up a little bit and throw them in there as well.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, that's always different
Add
ways
a
to
little
do it.
heat.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
I also made for the first time. I gotta stop making stuff for the first time and then recording it like I've done it forever, because you don't know what you're gonna get.
How it's going to come out.
Thank God it came out really well. I made
Oh,
that
good.
broccoli cheddar soup.
Oh, yes. That's right. It looked delicious.
Let me tell you something. It's a lot simpler than I thought it was gonna be. It's like everything's almost all equal parts. It was milk, chicken. I used chicken broth.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to use vegetable stock or vegetable. It's too.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just the flavor of chicken is.
It's a common go-to.
It is.
Always.
It is.
I'm actually buying more vegetable stock now because
you
I've never
really?
I use chicken for everything.
Okay.
But I'm like, they have vegetable. Why not use vegetable for other dishes?
Correct.
Like that. Like lentil soup, split pea soup. Why am I always using chicken?
I use chicken too.
So now I buy vegetable a lot more.
You know what I want to try though?
What?
Speaking of changing up the broths, I definitely, when I do my risotto, because I do a mushroom risotto, they have a mushroom stock.
I think I've seen that. Yes.
I want to try it with
Yes,
that. I want to
actually
see how
sounds
that
like a
comes
good
out.
idea.
But the broccoli cheddar soup, I definitely put way more cheese than I should, but it came out so good. And honestly, simple.
Yeah.
Simple.
It's so funny, these dishes that we love.
Yeah.
And then when you go to make it yourself, you're like, wait a minute.
I'm over there
It's not that hard.
paying $30 for soup when I could have spent $10 at home.
Yes.
So yeah, it's all equal parts. So it's like, two cups of chicken broth, 2 cups of milk, and then I also did butter. It's a stick of butter, a little bit of flour. You gotta get. I hate roux. I don't like the roux, but that flour, because sometimes if it's
Well, you got to cook it out.
yeah, and you got to make sure that it actually incorporates well, because then
Yes.
you're gonna get those chunks and then they don't go.
Yeah.
It's just it's an annoying
Get a
step.
whisk.
Whisk. Like that.
Get that wrist action going.
So it came out really, really good. The vegetables, the carrots. I was tempted on putting yellow potato, but like I'm talking about small yellow potato. Let them really, because the cook itself is
I
20
like
minutes.
actually going to potatoes.
Sure.
I grew up always. What potato did you grow up using?
Idaho.
Idaho. All the time.
Yep, for everything.
Then, like the past, I don't know, 5-6 years ago,
Yeah.
we went to the gold.
The
Oh my
yellows, yeah.
God.
Yeah,
The butteriness,
I know.
the creaminess
Yeah.
of that yellow gold. I don't even buy the other one no more.
Honestly, I go in between the two. If I want like an original baked potato,
But
I'm gonna go with Idaho.
But even so, it's more starchy. You want that
Right.
buttery creaminess because when you're mashing it, don't you want that creamy butteriness?
I mean, yeah, but that's why when I make, so you was talking about mashed potatoes, correct? If you're gonna have
Or
them,
twice baked potato, we make that a lot too.
yeah, you guys do make that a
Yes.
lot.
So you're like, I feel like you're like, well, 90% of the time we're like mashing it anyway.
Yeah.
In some way.
Right.
So we want that creamy butteriness.
So I'm able to get to that with other things. So when I was using Idaho potatoes for this, I would always do sour cream, heavy cream.
I want a big potato now.
I know we're gonna have after this. So heavy cream, sour cream, butter. Like I would make sure the things that I incorporate into that mashed potato would help along with
Do you
it.
like chives on top? Oh, I
If
do.
you don't, I
I
think
do.
there's something wrong with you.
I do.
mean,
that little
come
like
on.
oniony on top. Oh my
Have you done the one where you could like roast those the garlic cloves
Yeah.
and then you just mash it in?
Yes.
Sometimes they're like, oh, it's
It's
too
like nice
potent.
sweetness it adds
Yes.
to it.
No, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
But I think that's what adds that level to it, where it's
Yeah.
not just a
It
regular,
takes it to another level.
like you're not opening up a box of dried flakes and you're putting it in water and milk. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I don't even do that no more. I feel like it's nothing to
Yeah.
just peel the potato and boil it.
You kn-
Because when you're done boiling it, you just mash it, throw everything together, and you're
right.
done with your mashed potatoes.
So there was a couple of occasions where actually had the potato where it was done, but for some reason, it would come out grainy. I believe it was a grainy or tough, or some the flavor. It was like sweet, and I have no idea why. It might have been the potatoes that I
Maybe
used.
the type of like we said before,
Yeah,
Idaho is starchy.
yeah.
The gold is buttery, creamy, so it has
happened with
to
the
be.
but it happened with the gold ones too.
Oh, maybe you had one that snuck in there that
Maybe,
didn't belong.
maybe I don't know, because that happened to me twice where I had something set up. I had steaks done, asparagus. I had all, and
You're
then when
making me hungry.
and then I got that mashed potato out. I said, "This tastes like garbage. What
Yeah.
happened?" And I know it cooks all the way through, but it had that sweet that out of nowhere. I'm like, why is it so sweet on this
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
sometimes I get
Who knows?
disappointed.
Sometimes things don't work out in the kitchen the way we plan.
That's why you
But that's
throw it
okay.
out.
Just say that's how it's supposed to be, and nobody would know anything.
Well, I only feed myself, so I scream at
So
myself
that's
for
it.
20 minutes.
That's
So
it.
anyway, what else have you done this week on besides the broccoli rabe and the
Broccoli
chicken?
rabe.
Which, by the way, the marsala I still have not
Oh my-
tried to do yet.
It's so good.
Tell me, you need to
It's
tell me how to
so
make it.
good.
You need to tell me how to make it.
And like I said, it's so funny. Like these dishes, you're like at a restaurant, like then you make it at home, and it's really quick.
Yeah.
Like you just take the cutlet and you flour mixed with salt
Okay.
and a little pepper. You season like
Yeah.
all the steps. You flour it. You brown it, olive oil and butter.
Okay.
And then you brown it. You take it out of the pan,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Then you saute your mushrooms
Mm-hmm.
with the garlic. Once that's cooked through, add your marsala wine.
Yeah.
Then a little broth. Let it come together. Put your meat back in, and I think that's all it was.
Okay.
Right? That's all the components. I mean, like I
But
think
how much more solid do you have to put in? For, let's just say.
my bar, I boil everything.
Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
I really do. Like, oh, this is enough. No, seriously.
I know.
Like me and the way I teach my daughter, one swish around the pan.
A swoosh around
A
the pan.
swish around, like for anything,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
broth or like homemade mashed potatoes. She loves making that.
Yeah.
Once around the pot, like with the like,
With the heavy cream or something.
yeah, or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So I just kind of go like that once around.
That's pretty
Like I
good.
feel like, don't you feel that sometimes, like when you're cooking, like you whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that's enough.
Yeah.
Not quite. Let me add a little more. Like you just get that sense or that feeling.
And that's what happens to me when I put the pasta in the pot, and then I go, "That's not enough." I put more.
Oh, more
And then I
pasta.
go, "Oh." I end up using the whole box, and I'm like, "What the fuck
One
am I
person.
feeding?" Because it never looks
You,
enough.
you don't feel like it's enough.
I'm like, "That's not gonna feed me."
I
And then it comes out. I'm like, "What am I doing with all this?"
yes, and then you
telling you.
fry it up.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what it is, because there's some stuff
What do
that
you mean?
I can't fry up. Like for me, it has to be just pasta with sauce if you're gonna fry it up.
Well, I mean, it depends what it is, obviously, but
Yeah.
like what?
Like there's no other carbonara.
Oh no, that'll separate. That's different.
Well, I don't know if it's the way I'm making it, but it doesn't separate on me. So I'm actually able to refry that. I actually made it the other day. I put a little bit too much pancetta in it, but I like.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not. It's like a stupid complaint.
It's
So
not a
I
bad
had,
thing.
I cut it up and everything was good, and I started doing things a little differently with that because the way my father taught me is
For
that
carbonara, you're saying.
carbonara.
Oh, okay.
We would just basically scrambled eggs in a bowl, have that ready.
Just the yolk.
No,
You do the whole
he
egg.
did the whole damn thing. And that's what I grew up on with him using the whole thing. I think for us it was like 3 eggs.
Oh, more people,
And
yeah.
that's the thing. So now that I've been seeing a lot of other people like what they've been doing as they're mixing the eggs, they're actually incorporating the cheese
Yes.
with the egg.
Well, you're making it thick.
I never did that.
Okay.
When the way my dad always did it, which I guess it was like a backhand way to do it. I'm telling you, we really bastardized how to do stuff around my house. So we would have the egg and the cheese. Everything would be ready to go right then and there. First, we would put in the
One
pancetta.
thing at a time.
Right,
To
we would do the
say.
pancetta right when the pasta was done, like the water was drained, everything was in the pot. Boom, pancetta goes in after it was done being fried up, right? So that's all
Yeah,
done.
you take that out.
Then boom, egg, right? Immediately grab the cheese, pour it in, and then you just start mixing, and that's
I
it. You don't
like
stop.
like with social media today, like you
Right.
see all these different
Oh yeah.
ways that people do things. I've seen they take some of that grease
Yep.
from the pancetta and they incorporate it with the yolk.
Yeah.
So you have the yolk, the cheese, and that oil.
Right.
Like I guess to have that extra depth of flavor
Yes.
in.
So
I
what
gotta
I
try
did
that.
this time, I didn't do it like the way my father did. I did it a little bit differently. I incorporated what I knew.
In the bowl with the yolk.
Yes.
The egg.
So
I'm sorry, the whole egg, right?
I did the whole egg. I
Okay.
did the whole egg, 3 eggs. I put it in the bowl, but then I actually incorporated I used pecorino romano.
Mhm.
I incorporated that in, so it was like a paste. So that's what I used.
Thick.
So I threw that in after I put the pancetta. And by the way, I put the pasta right into the pot that fried the pancetta. So I
yeah.
had it all right there.
Okay.
Put it on, and then
A little
pasta
pasta
water.
water.
Can I tell you something?
What?
I can't. I've never seen so many people use pasta water so much for different things, and I'm just like,
Yes.
I know you always could have, but because I never really grew up doing that, and I'm like, that's a little, but it helped with this.
It makes so many dishes come together.
Correct. The starch in the
starches
water.
in the water.
Yeah.
It's like that little magic something extra to tie it all up.
But for me, it was never something that I even wanted to do. You know what the funny part about that is? Whenever my mother ended up making something, she always like got a cup and made sure there was pasta. Don't get me wrong; it always
Saved
went
on
straight
the
into the
side.
sink. It always went straight into the sink. She never used it, but she always had it ready in case.
Yeah.
She never made anything that was so thick that you needed it. It was a just in case type of deal. This is the first time because of how thick I made.
You needed it.
I
thin
knew
it
I
out.
needed it. I said, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm doing it a little differently this time. Let me
Yeah.
let me get a cup. And I was doing it. I had the flame on in the skillet, and it came out. It was elevated. Can we call it elevated?
I'm telling you,
It was
does.
elevated. So now I have a new standard of when I do it. Next time, will I use any of the egg whites? Probably not.
You feel you don't need that.
I might not need that, to
Yeah.
be honest with you. Just I had pretty good grated black pepper, the grinder.
Mhm.
So use that. It came out pretty decent. Came out
Nice.
normally it's fine. Like
Yeah.
because it's a simple dish.
It
It's
is,
simple.
But that's the best dishes. Are these simple? Pasta gulagia.
Yeah.
Like honestly, what is to it?
No, nothing. But there you go.
it's so delicious.
I like it spicy.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like it
not a
spicy.
big spice
Neither am I. I
person,
hate spice.
so I don't look to add the crushed pepper flakes or anything. I'm fine with everything at
Right.
its level.
Right.
But you could always elevate that.
And you do the amogio too, right? You like the pasta con amogio with the tomatoes. It's like
Yes,
the same thing,
yes,
basically.
yes.
I don't know why it burns the roof of my mouth.
Oh,
I don't know why.
I like adding the tomatoes in it too.
Yeah.
I do.
I think recently I did what I did by G's house. I did the cherry tomatoes sauce, the fresh
Yes,
one.
yes.
I redid that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why the flavor on that is so different. It's just so different.
I think it's cooking together the garlic with the cherry tomatoes. Like
Yeah.
that takes it to a whole nother level.
Listen, I put white wine in it.
Yes.
I put I swear to God, I should be sponsored by Core with this bouillon cube. I put a half a cube of bouillon, and I just let it. I need to get one of those hand blenders.
Okay.
That's what I need because
An immersion blender.
there we
you're
go.
saying.
There you go. I need that.
We're right here, Marcus.
We're here. So I had it sitting on simmer for a long time, but it takes a while for the skin to, recede back and for the stuff to melt down. If I had one of those immersion blenders, oh, I'd be done. It would come out come out thicker because it's already a thin sauce.
Yes.
Because of it's all, remember, the cherry tomato itself, you're not getting it out of a can where it's all
No.
super mixed and processed and you're all done, it's right there.
Yes.
This is a thin sauce.
Yeah.
So if I had that immersion one, blending the skin, blending the garlic, and
Combining it all
all
together.
down together, it would come out so different.
Yeah.
I just gotta get my
I
hands on
see
one.
so many Europeans use it, like so much
Yes,
in all their recipes. They use it all the time. I don't really see anybody here use that,
they really don't.
right?
They don't.
But they know this is like an old
Oh
tool
yeah.
that's been around. My mom's used it like
Oh
years ago,
yeah.
but I don't remember her using it a lot.
Because
But
then
now I see it everywhere.
Becau-
But Europe,
the thing is this: think about what we're cooking. Besides, let's just say my cherry tomato sauce, right? Where else would I really apply that?
but in their dishes, like they'll take spinach leaves and
Yes.
whatever the pasta water or
Mhm.
like beans or
Mhm.
anything. They'll put it in a cup and
I feel like what they use in immersion blender, we use the processors
True.
more
True.
because they're bigger.
Yeah.
They're you know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
for them, they think very intimately while we think largely.
Yeah. Possibly.
Because I have one of those processors, and I'm like, I really want to use it. But I'm like, what am I going to use it for?
Yeah.
You know, I still haven't found a real reason to use it. I have a blender to make pesto. What am I going to use that thing for?
Yeah.
So you really gotta.
I use it. I
Yeah?
use mine. All the time, not really.
Right.
But I've done like garlic, like
Like a mogul if you're doing like, barbecue.
a mogu. Well, a mogu you have to do it the old way.
Oh, you got the
with
pa-
the water
the
and
mo-
pesto, the
yeah,
wooden
yeah,
one
yeah,
that I
yeah.
do. But I tried doing a chimichurri sauce.
Okay,
Did I
how'd
say that
come out?
right?
Yeah, chimichurri. You're right.
Chimichurri. But it's honestly like I was like, that's all it is,
Yeah.
because it was like parsley.
Yeah.
As for we do mint or whatever, that was on with parsley.
It's not. Wait, but for chimichurri,
Chimichurri?
is that like cilantro or parsley?
No, not cilantro.
Not cilantro.
Parsley.
It's parsley. Okay.
Yes, because
Okay.
I did parsley, olive oil, salt, pepper,
Yeah.
and we put it over steak with garlic.
Yeah.
And it was so good.
Yeah.
I was like, I've never done this before,
And that's just parsley.
and it's just parsley. You're right.
It's basically it's a pesto with parsley for parsley.
Yes.
It's really what it is.
Like that's another thing. Like you see all these pestos, like
Yeah.
with variety.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not just basil.
No,
You
it's
can make
not.
it out of anything.
Pistachio, you could add.
I've seen. Yeah.
Listen, and there were some people I know, like for a while, because pine nuts are expensive.
Yeah,
Man,
they are.
What is
They
it?
are.
Like I had an 8-ounce
It's like
container.
$20 for like 2 nuts.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, who? So what were people doing? They were replacing pine nuts with walnuts.
True. Yes, you see a lot of walnuts.
You
in
see a lot of
dishes, too.
walnuts in it because it's a cheaper alternative. You're
Yeah.
getting the same result.
Yeah, that nuttiness, that
That-
earthiness, and
right.
that background
I've
flavor.
even seen people put almond. I wouldn't.
Probably. Well,
I wouldn't. I'm
yeah.
not. First of all, I'm not an almond fan, so
Yeah.
it is what I mean.
I like almonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys always ate almonds like that, like just grabbing them. Like,
Roasted.
yeah. I can't.
Roasted.
They dry my mouth out. I don't know how you guys eat them like that. I wish I
I
could.
don't know.
Oh,
It's called pasatiempo food.
yeah. Well, if you open up my kitchen, everything's pasta
We have a
tempo.
lot of
Trust me.
pasatiempo food.
Oh, believe me, you have no idea. So,
Yeah.
what are you planning on making up the upcoming weeks? Anything special?
Honestly, I really don't know.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm a day-to-day person.
Okay.
I really am.
It's like
Because,
whatever
I mean,
the day strikes you
I
with.
go food shopping. I keep things in the freezer, in the refrigerator, and then it's like, what am I making today? Okay, I have this and that. I could put this together. You try to have herbs on hand. You always
Yeah.
have vegetables on hand. I have eggplant. I have asparagus. I have mushrooms. Things for salads. So honestly, as long as you have your components in your refrigerator, you could kind of be like, I feel like this today.
Unfortunately, I have to plan.
Yeah.
I have to plan, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's the part that sucks. It's like, all right, what do I got to go get? I got to go get this right now. Let me see if I can scramble it. And it's always something.
I think I'm like that because I have to please. Well, not please, but like,
No, they're going to eat it and they're going to freaking like it.
I wish I could say I don't do that. I'm guilty
yeah.
of that. So
Yeah.
it's like my kids want this. Okay, I have to keep things on hand.
Right.
He wants this. Let's put this. My dad likes this. So that's why I try to keep everything on hand. So we're ready to go
You
when.
never really know.
Yeah.
Now, that's always a good thing.
So
Well, this was great.
it was great. It was fun and
Yeah.
informative.
It is informative.
And
Let's see
until
what we
next
come up.
time.
Absolutely. Take it easy, everyone.